Welcome to my establishment. I'm Ram, and I run a little operation called L-Space Archives. Strictly small time, mind you. So a while back, I get a message from none other than Nicky the Book Graveyard. Now, Nicky used to be a local boy back before he made it big time out in Ohio, so he gives me the skinny on this joint out in Mesa called Uncle Aldo's Attic. He says it's a front for a vintage record shop, but the owner has some old pulp magazines that he keeps in the down low if I'm interested. I says yes, I would be very interested in acquiring the aforementioned pulps. So Nicky, being a stand-up guy, calls Uncle Aldo and lets him know that I will be paying him a little visit. So I grabs the wife, Mrs. Elspace, and we takes a little drive out to Mesa. Now, Uncle Aldo's attic is a very nondescript building. No flashy signs so as not to draw too much attention to itself, if you know what I mean. So we goes in through the side door per the instructions, which was written on the front door. And there, behind the counter, is Mr. Aldo himself. So me and the wife, Mrs. Elspace, saunter over all casual like, and says to him, Nicky Graveyard sends his regards. He tells me you might have some old pulp magazines and such. Uncle Aldo says, why, I told that bum I got rid of those. I run a clean joint here. I told Nicky I got nothing. Then my wife, she says, Robbie, you mean we drove all the way out here for nothing? So I says, looks like it does. Then Aldo says, all right. Why don't you guys look around while I check the back in case maybe like some fell off a truck or something. So I takes a look around. The place is beautiful. He's got loads of them there, vintage phonographic records. But I'm overlooking at the old movie posters and one sheets when the wife, Mrs. Elspace, hollers at me. Robbie, he's back and he's got some of them there pulp magazines that you like so much. So I turns around and on the counter, I kid you not, is a stack of pulp magazines as long as my arm. I takes a look through them. They were beautiful. Just what I was looking for. Most people, they want the big names, not me. I want the writers nobody's ever heard of before. The key bangers who were pounding out stories for a penny a word and never made it to the big time. Never got put in no anthology or had their own collected works. Some bum who I can discover and make a name for myself promoting and whatnot. So I slides the entire stack across the counter and I says to Aldo, I says, how much for all of them? He says, all of them? I says, all of them. He says, the whole kit and caboodle? I says, yes, I would like both the kit and the caboodle. He counts them up and gives me a price that I found to be most reasonable. I says, you got yourselves a deal. He says, I guess it's a good thing Nicky Graveyard don't listen so good. So I pays the man. And then the wife, Mrs. Elspace, who was wandering around the joint, yells, Robbie, look-see here. They got some of those old paperback books that you like so much. I look over, and I kid you not, there was an entire wall of vintage books. I grabbed Uncle Aldo by the collar and I said, you've been holding out on me. You didn't say nothing about having no vintage paperback books. He says, you got it all wrong. I've been straight with you. You didn't say nothing about wanting no vintage books. You said you was looking for pulps. Besides, they're right there in plain sight when you walk in the joint. Ain't my fault if you're friggin' blind. I say, good point. Hold on to my pulps while I take a gander at your paperbacks. So I goes over to the bookshelves. It was beautiful. So I grabs a few, and then I sees a hardback, first edition, voice printing of a book that I did not have by a well-known gentleman whose books I happen to collect. Then I saw the price. I put it back. I picked it up again. It was beautiful. I looked at the price again. Too rich for my blood. Like I said, I'm strictly a small-time operation. So I puts it back on the shelf. Then the wife, Mrs. Elspace, grabs it, and she says, "Your birthday's next week, so I'm getting it for you, 'cause if you leave it here, you're gonna be kicking yourselves in the pants later." So she buys it for my birthday. I tell you, Mrs. Elspace is one swell broad. I'm a lucky palooka to have such a classy dame. But that's not all. 'Cause when we goes to pay, Uncle Aldo takes $25 off the asking price. Not for nothing, but Uncle Aldo's attic is a first-class joint, and Aldo is a stand-up guy. So there you have it. I scored me some beautiful Pulp magazines and some vintage books, all thanks to Nicky. Oh, you think I'm full of malarkey? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, ain't no way some big hotshot from Ohio like Nicky the Book Graveyard is talking to the likes of some two-bit bum like me. Well, screw you. Nicky's a stand-up guy. He remembers his old neighborhood from back before he hit it big time in Ohio. You don't know. Nicky's a stand-up guy. You want me to prove it to you? Fine. I'll show you the bulbs and the books. I'll show them to you in friggin' Technicolor. We'll see how you like them apples. Okay, so first up is Fantastic Adventures featuring the notorious L. Ron Hubbard. This is from October 1950. So these bulbs are all in pretty rough shape, but that's okay. I don't mind a little rough around the edges. Another Fantastic Adventures featuring the also notorious Richard S. Shaver. This is from February 1948. Shaver was promoted by editor Raymond Palmer, divisive figure in science fiction fandom. And this is Fantastic Adventures. Also got some more of those Shaver mystery stories in them. This is from March 1947. And this is future science fiction. This has a story by Raymond F. Jones. Jones most known for writing This Island Earth. This is from November 1952. Next, Amazing Stories with Milton Lesser's Son of the Black Chalice. This is July 1952. And now, a startling story. I love this cover art. It is beautiful. This does have a Henry Kuttner story in it. And this is from March 1952. And then we got here the Super Science Stories. This is September 1950. I'm pretty sure this dame is cutting a rug on the dance floor while this space DJ is spinning some hot grooves. Another Amazing Stories. This is May 1946. And Fantastic Adventures. There's something about this cover I love. No. I mean artistical wise. Get your minds out of the gutter. And look, this broad's got horns on her head, and she's got these little wings on her ankles. Now, I ain't no aeronautical engineer, but that just doesn't seem like a viable placement for wings. I mean, she'd be all top-heavy and stuff. No, not like that. Get your mind out of the gutter. And another Fantastic Adventures. This says Toka fights the big cats. This is December 1947. And more Fantastical Adventures from September 1952. And yes, at some point I will do a flip through of each of these so you can see the interior illustrations, which I am sure are beautiful. But we'd be here for days if I did that now. And Fantastic Adventures with the Secrets of Elena's Tomb, September 1947. Amazing Stories with the Green Man Returns. This is December 1947. And Fantastic Adventures featuring the tale of the Red Dwarf who writes with his tale written by the Red Dwarf himself. Awesome cover, May 1947. Not really sure about this Red Dwarf character as a writer. Maybe it's somebody I should look into. Fantastic Adventures with King of the Dinosaurs. That is one goofy looking dinosaur. And this, what's he doing? He seems to be using the dinosaur's head as a diving board to practice his backflips and whatnot. This is October 1949, by the way. Fantastic Adventures, The Soul Snatchers, May 1952. Future Science Fiction. This is July of 1952. And last but not least, Famous Fantastic Mysteries with H.G. Wells' Island of Dr. Moreau. This is October 1946. So that's it for the Pulps. Then there were the paperbacks. So I also collect these tie-in novels from old television programs, but this is one I didn't have. It is The Bionic Woman. That Jamie Summers is one swell broad. Then we have the movie tie-in covers for Planet of the Apes. I have a bunch of the Planet of the Apes TV show tie-in books, as well as the animated Return to the Planet of the Apes tie-in novels, but surprisingly, none of the movie ones. And now I also got Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Now I just need Beneath, Conquest of, and Battle for the Planet of the Apes, and I'll have the whole kit and caboodle. Then there was this show in the 70s that I watched as a kid. I had one other tie-in novel for it. Now I have two. It's the Mod Squad and the Socket to 'em Murders. Oh yeah. Pete, Julie, Link. I got the captain's name, but he was played by Tyke Andrews. Yeah, solid. Next, one of them their anthologies, The Outer Reaches, written by August Derleth. Nice group of key baggers in this one. And The Time is Over by Jerry Soule. Cool cover, no credit given to the artist. And then we got a Harlan Ellison. This is Alice in Wonderland. So happy to find this one. Can't believe I found this one for such an awesome price. I wish I'd known about this place a couple of years ago. I could have saved myself a ton of dough. Uncle Aldo is one stand-up guy. And I ain't never heard of this one before. The Robot Braids by Sidney J. Bounds. Giant blonde creatures. They were as curvaceous as the bodies of their dwarf man was shriveled. I'm sorry. I suppose that, technically, that robot is pretty curvaceous. but there ain't no way it's a real blonde. And finally, I collect H.G. Wells, but this was a bit rich for my blood. But then my wife, this is the one she got me for my oily birthday present. Now, this is a first edition voice printing of H.G. Wells' The New Machiavelli. This is from 1910. This ain't science fiction. This novel was quite a scandal at the time, due to its plot being derived from H.G. Wells' own extramarital affair with Amber Reeves and whatnot, and also due to its political satirical nature, with some libraries banning the book. So that's it. I love this freaking Uncle Aldo's attic. But it's a good thing this place is on the opposite side of the valley, because otherwise I'd be signing my paychecks over to this guy. Okay, that does it for now. So let me know in the comments all your commentary type of stuff. Thanks for dropping by. Thank you, Nicky. Thank you, Uncle Aldo. Now, for the rest of you, get out of here.